I'm Tense&Nervous. I'm originally from LA, Lower Alabama, and I've been in the car all afternoon and I'm really exhausted. I drove in from Waverly. We seem to have lost the crowd. Did I run them off? No. I want to open with a magic trick. Anybody got a $20 bill?
It's still broke.
Yeah. You've seen that?
I live that.
How about a 10? Oh, you've been at the receiving end of that joke?
I got kids.
Kids?
They're good.
If you're just losing $20 and you said kids, like plural, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
That's a fast dollar right there.
I want the chicken sandwich with sauteed mushrooms as a side, like a potato.
I played high school football and suffered turf toe my sophomore year. It was the most agonizing pain I've ever been in my life. And that started my drug abuse for many decades. It's been like one complete blur. Psychotropics is where it's at, man. The last two kids I had distributing drugs in elementary schools have moved on to junior high. And I'm hoping some kids show up tonight where I can hook up with them and make them more cash, put them through college. Hey, how y'all doing? Oh, fantastic. Some fans. But I've been time traveling lately, and I've been doing it for the last decade, and that's a real trip. It's kind of like a flash forward instead of a flashback. But after traveling for a decade, time traveling, I finally remembered to bring back a couple of clones. And I said, I brought back 8 of us. So there's 8 of 9 of me running around the place where all time traveling. And I ran into myself the other day and we partied like it was 1999. Been there, done that. If 4 of us ever get together, we've already scheduled, we're going to plan the trip to Robert Trent Jones up and down the state of Alabama and start at one end and go to the other. But we're going to fight like girls on the golf club. You can't play only one person in a set of clubs. You can't share your club.
I'm not getting laughed at.
I've got multiple personality disorder and OCD. I was moving and I saw OCD stuff on the television. I spoke to my doctor and he gave me some psychotropics. And halfway through the move, I realized I didn't need half the shit I had left to move. So I threw out a quarter of it, and now I've got at least another quarter of junk I need to vacate. I actually had to buy 3 Butler buildings in Waverly so I could store all my junk. Yeah. No, I've been driving all day. I'm exhausted. I'm from Waverly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what where are you going?
I'm behind the old food and seat that burned down. I'm in that 3-link chain fence that T-Rex was in. They were building Toyotas. I bought that from John Marsh. And he basically owns downtown Opelika. That John Marsh Enterprises. It's a small world after all.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of small worlds, I lost my mom a couple of years ago. It's been really depressing. Every time I go through North Alabama to go visit my siblings, I kind of get tugged there at the Galleria exit because, the day that we lost her, we all got lost. And it took me 2 hours to find the car in the parking lot, or the parking garage. And I waited another good 15, 20 minutes for Mom to show up. And she didn't. So I feel like I ought to go and post some pictures of Mom around the Galleria and see if anybody's seen her. That's wild, man.
But you can get a home meal and pass on the sheriff and quit 2 weeks.
I have no short-term memory. I pretty much burned that sucker. And I'm crazy. I can document my sanity twice.
Let's try this with appetizing.
And I'm forgetting material just as fast as I can remember it. It's cool. Is it that hot here, or am I just on fire, smoke?
Good.
Warming up. I love the tie. We're not going to have a dress code here on Thursday night. I really hate that. I left the job once because they wanted me to have a tie. It took me about 6 months to find a job, but I came back to grad school. Sure did. I always don't wear a tie around. I guess I would now. Jobs are hard to find. I hope we have some in the White House next year, and I hope I go home and find some change in my social. I'm one of those RonPaul2012.com guys. And it's really sad if you believe in the Mayan calendar of the end of the world, December 21st, 2012, because I'm going to be 55 for 4 days. I mean, what's the chances of me living through the end of the world? A manic depressive, you know, that's a bummer. You didn't think you'd make it to the end of the world. But they say there's a planet X, and it's going to go through and shift our rotation axis, and the plates and stuff are going to crack, and we're going to have typhoons and tidal waves and earthquakes and volcanoes. Mississippi flood delta is going to be flooded, pretty much. So that's something to look forward to. And of course, California is going to fall off in the ocean.
You got a place to go.
Yeah, well, that's how they're going to get rid of their bankruptcy. Just taking the whole coast back. It looks like the U.S. Enterprise has just moved into the Straits of Hormuz, and it's got 8 nuclear reactors on that boat. And the U.S. military has figured out it's more cost-effective to sink that sucker right there and start World War III with Iran than it is to pay and go through the EPA rules, which I'm sure they suspended the military, to clean up 8 nukes. And our embassy is emptied Syria. And I didn't know we had 900 military bases around the globe. Why do we have 900 military bases across the globe? It's just extraordinary. Why don't we have those 900 bases full of men and women in uniform here in America, protected like the border in Mexico? If we can protect the border in Afghanistan, we should be able to protect the border in Afghanistan. You think. And today, $25 billion goes from the bank, and they say these people that got hoodwinked with these home mortgages are going to get $2,000 apiece. And if they're underwater, they're going to get $20,000 in principal forgiven. Well, you and I are going to pay for that. Don't you love this country? I got keyed up there on politics. And then the world. And the world. I think so. God. Rightfully so. I'd rather vote like ignorant bliss than vote at all. Cool. A couple of years ago, I saw these W's all over these people's cars, and I got really excited because I thought they were kind of like pushing for the legalization of weed. and then it kind of died down. I didn't see so many of those stickers, and then 4 years later, they all came up, all popping up. And I finally walked up to a car and looked at the windshield and realized it was something else. Music? Yeah. You ready for the music?
I see some guitars back there.
Yeah.
I can't.
Uncle Roy and
That's Uncle
this
Roy.
gentleman's out here. Got Uncle Roy, he's got CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're really good stuff.
Is he playing over here this weekend?
Yeah, he and on the steel guitar, I can't think of his name. I'm gonna call him Andrew.
Okay.
I think it's Andrew.
I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe's room.
But they're here on Wednesday night, start at 6. And then they're back on, usually on Thursday night at 6. And I'm gonna stand here and do some comedy until they run me off.
Well, maybe we'll stay long enough.
And I've seen you do the film at, in Waverly, Scott Pete's place, Stanford a lot.
Yeah, I've shot some Scott
Yeah,
stuff.
they do that.
Soul Cold,
Yeah.
do some house cleaning. Bruce Yandel and his brother Eric,
Yeah.
his wife and his son, and Bo Gallagher. He's from Opelika. He was in Bo and the Blue Rocks.
I remember that.
I've got a bunch of websites out there. Start with bbad.us and go look up all those bands. Do the MrResister.net page.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
But Soul Cold is going to be at the Jimmy Carr Stereo at Fish Place tomorrow.
Oh, I heard that.
Tomorrow night.
I heard about that.
And if you show up, just give Bruce your email and get on his mailing list.
All right.
They don't. Historically, he hasn't been playing a lot with a different band. He was with several bands recently. MrResister.net is the thing they play every year out at the Supper Club.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It's a couple of weeks before Christmas, Friday of the weekday after graduation.
Hey, can I borrow one of them? Secretary over there. Not leaving my vehicle.
But I'm actually a legal alien. They taught me at the age of 3 color, and I was actually breaking down the Da Vinci Code. And the governor from Jackson, Mississippi sent me out of state. So if I go back through Mississippi, I have to have a letter from both governors. And of course, I'm not going to Columbus anymore because I've already got 2 strikes. I had to ask the guy, loser.com, they harvest these websites, and this guy bought it. And I checked in on it, and I said, if you got to ask, you ain't got enough money. So I asked him. I didn't have enough money. There you go. Yeah. I grew up in the 60s. WildManSteve.com has got an internet radio show.
Yeah.
He does the birthdays every morning. And all those rock and roll stars are 70, 80 years old. I'm kind of amazed the number of them are still alive. 27-year-old. I went through that.
Like a little social experience.
And then last week, I had a camera set up over here and one set up over here. And I watched the tape, and I finally got the camera guy. Because he missed me. So that's why I'm not moving around. I missed me. It was like an invisible comic.
You can't ask him to dance or anything like
No.
that?
I'm doing a magic trick though.
No?
No.
Well, let's see it.
You got a $20 bill?
No.
10?
No.
I'll do it for 10. Oh, good. I think I've got a 10. Yeah. You got a 10? You want to play magic
Are you
trick?
going to give it back? That's my question.
What, your $10 bill?
Yeah.
No.
I'll give you $1.
That's not good enough.
Okay.
I don't think you can even buy an Uncle Roy CD for $1. You can ask him.
All right, then. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's all right. No magic trick. I couldn't do it last week.
I don't have $10.
Well, that's all right. ATM? I need to get an app phone where I can scan your credit card. That's good.
Yeah, right.
I've been stealing ATM cards for years, And I hate that because I have to go back and find the idiot and get his PIN number. That's so damn frustrating. Being in Walmart, you realize I don't have the guy's PIN number. So you start looking all over town. And I'm seriously thinking about running for president of the United States of America. And the first thing I would address is bad drivers. So on your birthday, during that 24-hour period of time, you get to go out and shoot, kill a bad driver. On your, yeah, no problem. It's like a...
I've heard that for a long time. That word.
And the most frustrating thing is, if you commute to work in the morning, and you obviously some idiot turning in the middle of the road and thinking, oh, shoot him. And you say, no, I'm the better one we have. And you're up till midnight looking, you can't find work. That's the most blessing thing about it. And I think it's about time we've had a woman in the White House. You know, think about it. Putin would have a problem every 30 days, once a month, for the next 4 years of his life.
It would be different, but I think Hillary is just...
No, I think she's out. She's out of it. Have you seen her with
She
her?
is out of it, but she's the closest coming out, you know. I think Hillary.
Well, I'm single, and I've been doing that internet radio stuff. And you don't mind, actually put your age up there in this face. You'll imagine some of the women saying, hook me up. I'm going, man! You know, I pretty much got it down to one criteria. I have solid food down. I'll eat your lunch. And most photographs, there's 3 or 4 kinds. They don't have a description for their body. And it's all mixed up. And then they're 50 plus, and their picture is like they're 2.5 miles down the road.
And you don't have to sign an agreement.
Oh, no.
Saying you can get better.
I think what they ought to do is like have a little chart. Check the teeth, you still got it. Put down if you drink Budweiser or PBR. And then what you're smoking. And I think if we change from the petrol-based industry and went with the hemp and fiber, you know, they built an original Model T Ford out of hemp, and they put hemp oil in the gas tank and throw that sucker off. Why aren't we smoking? I mean, driving hemp cars. It's a weed for crying out loud. We have lost the war on drugs many times. I think drugs and kitty porn and the slave trade is all controlled by the CIA. I really do. I think our government is using seed money from Congress to do their black ops, and they rotate the guns. Like the FBI, they got caught taking guns, give them to gun dealers in Mexico. Here, go give them to the cartel. And then they're going to shoot back at us. And like I said, we can't even protect our own border, but we can go over to Afghanistan. But there's literally a drug war going on. Just within our own border, we've got signs that don't enter this national park because drug activity. I think it's really messed up.
Something's got to
We need change in the White House. I hope I find some change in myself. How y'all doing? You're completely paying attention or ignoring me?
We're yakking.
Oh, yakking.
Yakking.
What were you yakking about?
Money.
Money? That's a good subject. Don't let Barack Obama catch you. He'll want 30% of it.
Hey, we're trying to eat out here.
Oh, that is a bad. That's one of the reasons I hate doing comedy in restaurants, because the patrons have ammunition right in front of them, sitting on the plate. And I don't dodge. That's really good. But y'all have to have a pretty good arm back there. Be my luck, the guys signed with the Yankees right out of high school. Pitcher. If you have any kids and you're lucky enough to have a son, you throw him a baseball, and if he catches it with his right hand, you duct tape that sucker to his side and teach him how to throw left-handed. And he can pretty much pitch in the major leagues for 20 years as a one-in left-handed pitcher. So that's where I screwed up. I'm actually ambidextrous, but I can't throw a baseball as good as I need to left-handed. Uncle Roy. How much time are we doing? How long has that been there? Is that like 5 minutes? You didn't keep the time. There's another comic showing up. Somebody's got his own DVD. Has it been on television? My agent wants to put me on television. He wants me to do cops. And I kind of turned that down. I don't want to be the subject of a cop show. And then he said, we can get you on Locked Up Abroad, but the only problem is you have to go over to Turkey and bring back 20 pounds of heroin. No, bring back 20 pounds of heroin. And the cool thing is we don't get caught or rich. And if I get caught, I'll be on TV. And yeah, Midnight Express. That was a really gruesome picture. It really was. Do you know what time that cat started? Okay. I live out in the county, and it's kind of cool. There's no burn rule out there. I can pretty much set anything on fire. And I was burning stuff this afternoon, and I felt kind of bad because I only had one for rent. And don't forget, if you haven't been practicing, Draw Muhammad Day is coming around the corner. And you talk about Standard Deluxe, they're going to have their Waverly 280 boogie coming up.
Oh, yeah.
It's in April. ScottPeak.com. No, it's StandardDeluxe.com. I think there's 2 D's in it. StandardDeluxe.com. I went into the doctor today, and he did a CAT scan of my brain, and of course it came back white. I back ordered a new brain, and while I was in there, I said, go ahead and take the one I've got now, because I'm not really using it. So I'm standing here in front of you without a brain. Okay. Well, I really enjoyed it, and thank you for the dialogue. I need a straight man. I lost my... Huh? Taking off? Where?
Fine, whenever you get where it is,
I'm a thief, I'm not a liar. I didn't steal you $20, but I tried. I think I had a hook there. She had a $10 bill on
I've
it.
got a friend that goes, don't get paid.
Yeah. But music's on Wednesday night, Uncle Roy, and then Thursday we have more Uncle Roy and comedy. And I think we're going to do some mud wrestling next week, but you have to bring your own mud, or is it jello? We're going to set up a hot tub out front. I hear Roseanne Barr singing the national anthem. And We'll see you next Thursday.